What is up, guys? Welcome back to the X podcast. I'm here with the one and only Corey Shapiro from Vintage Frames. You could just say the glasses look better on me. Don't worry.
This fucking girl is so full of herself. Honestly, berating me the whole episode. I want to teach you guys a valuable life lesson, okay? If you look like this, like her, okay, and you have no one to buy frames for you, something's fucked up, okay? New customers, 1. Old customers, 2. This is our brand that we produce. We have part of the store, which is our...
We don't care. Show us the Cartier. You're listening to the X podcast. The X you keep coming back to. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the X podcast. Today we're here with Corey Shapiro at Vintage Frames. Say hi.
Hello.
He's being shy all of a sudden.
I'm not being... My nuts are halfway out and I'm in a bathrobe.
Any single person can ask me to go to bathroom, I wouldn't. But for Corey Shapiro, this is...
How come you're saying my full name? I feel like I'm in a principal's office.
Oh my God.
We
Okay,
like
Corey.
We
Sorry,
could do
Corey.
we could pick one of them.
I feel like you are the guy who would do things that are nuts, and you would be in a bathrobe. So I'm not gonna leave you doing it alone.
You asked me to.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You asked me to as we're wearing his logo on the bathrobe.
Pervert.
So
how are you? Welcome.
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 I want to make this podcast really fun and different. I know
Sure.
you've been on a few, but this one is going to be the best one.
Well, you already told me the other ones were super boring. You told me that they were super boring.
Don't say that.
And that no one cares about me in 4 minutes. So yeah, this is gonna be fucking great. Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers
Thanks.
to Vintage Frames.
Thanks for just level setting with my ego.
I feel like you need that a little, no?
It depends what day. Thursday. I've already been bruised and battered, so Thursday's a good day for me. Monday, I'm like really,
Right.
I'm ready.
Sorry I didn't get you on a Monday.
It's okay. It's better this way.
Did you always know you were going to be in the optical space?
No.
What made you want to go into this?
I had a couple failed businesses, like fiscally failures, that all of them had these
Like what?
So I had the first collectible sneaker store in Montreal, probably in Canada, but definitely in Montreal. I had a clothing brand. I had like various other things, and there was like always something wrong with each of them. Besides for me,
was it you? Or?
No, I'm definitely. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, we gotta. We should. It's always something wrong with me, and it's just what we pair that with. They were fun. They worked out, like reputation-wise and learning, but fiscally was a bit strenuous on me. So glasses kind of checked off all those things, and I have a fashion history degree and
Yeah, so I watched your other podcast,
which you said was boring.
I mean,
it's okay,
this is
Jeff
gonna be the best
Whittick,
one,
and
for
yeah,
sure.
okay, it's fine.
And I heard you talking about LaSalle College, which I also went there. You were in fashion marketing.
Briefly.
Okay, and then I heard that you ditched it. You're like, this is not for me.
I don't know that.
I hated it.
I mean, full transparency, my partner at the time, who didn't go to the school, impregnated my teacher on a whim, like not in like class or anything that had to do with me.
I'm curious if I know the teacher.
And I was like, no, I think her walk of shame was pretty long. Like she walk of shamed like to another country.
Oh wow.
Like there wasn't
respect. She was like, I'm done here.
I don't even know where that girl came from. She shouldn't have been there. But so I had like very little respect for it, and I would come in like sweatpants, and sweatpants weren't allowed then because fashionable companies hadn't put them up and shit.
Why didn't you show up in a bathrobe?
Oh, I did. I'm quite comfortable in a bathrobe. It's breezy. It's a flowy silhouette. No, so LaSalle was like a kind of a waste of time, and a teacher from another school took like an interest in me, and I did a degree at another school, and kind of started companies and shit like that in tandem.
How long after did you start Vintage Frames?
How long after did I start Vintage Frames? I was at
I feel like it was
like
soon
4
after.
years, 5 years, 4 years, something like that. Yeah.
And what made you start? Like, what was the beginning process like? You were like, I like frames, so I'm gonna start. Like,
Actually, I didn't like frames. That's
Really?
that's the kind of funny part. Yeah, what I liked about the frames was this like kind of persona that people would put on a pair of glasses, and I knew how full of shit they were like as a human, and they would be like this kind of like wimpy, like uncomfortable person, and they put on this pair of frames and they became like almost superhero-esque. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting that just like that little switch can kind of empower someone's life. And if you can do that, if you can empower anyone's life, it's a lot easier of a sale and like more of a symbiotic relationship between client and vendor. And no one was doing what I was doing. There was like an interesting history. So if you went to LaSalle College, the only course that made any sense was history, right? Because the rest of it was full of shit. I mean, I thought full of shit. No offense, because 100% the teachers
like,
watch.
For sure. And it was like business marketing, but instead you're learning about a pair of jeans. Like, I don't feel like it was like that different. Like, obviously there was courses that were on history and stuff, but it was...
But the history part was important because it was factual.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, this is what it is. Yeah. And you can't rewrite history. So you had to either understand that it was going to come in a full circle or not, you know? It was a fucking interesting school. Right? I mean, it was. Useless, but interesting. And I still see some of the people that I went to school with there, and they're up to nothing in their lives. And a whole bunch of nothing.
I've seen that too.
A lot of fucking nothing. Yeah.
For sure. It doesn't mean because you're the best student in school that you're gonna like come out of school and be amazing and start a business and kill it, you know? I feel like it's those people who actually normally just like get a regular 9 to 5 and then that's that.
But that's what they're teaching you. So they're breeding 9 to 5ers, you know? They're not breeding people in bathrobes who have fully committed. I'm full, like, I just want to let you know how I am fully committed to this.
One thing I will say that I really, really respect about you is when I was like, Corey, like, I want to have you on the podcast. You're very creative. You're like, what could we do to like spice it up? Like, should we film in an Uber? Like,
well, because you told me my other shit sucks.
No, I didn't.
You led with that. You're like,
I didn't.
You're like, hey, the Jeff Wittick podcast. Not that he's like not one of the biggest podcasters. Sucked.
No.
The money buys happiness. Shit. No, boys. Shit. Like, okay, cool. So, listen.
You're just calling me out.
Then what are we doing? You know?
No, but I feel like you always think outside the box. You're like, what could we do to kind of like create a buzz? I remember when I was working with my partner at the time, Veronica, which you guys know. You were like, I want to see you guys like make skits. I feel like you're very ahead of, I guess, like what people are used to.
I'm just, I'm
just that guy.
No, I'm like just a kid in my own candy store at all times.
I feel like you still are a kid.
Of course. Are you crazy? This is the only reason I do any of this. Like, my parents wouldn't buy me G.I. Joes when I was a kid. So I went and bought a Hummer so I could be a real life G.I. Joe. Like all my friends went golfing, and who the fuck wants to do that? I bought a golf cart. I'm a 40-year-old teenager that's trying to like tick off insanities from his youth at all times, and hopefully not trying to like hurt anyone along the way. Or
you were telling me about your son's bar mitzvah.
Yes.
And I was like, Corey, is this for your son or is this for you? It was giving Kardashian event, but
it's for both of us.
Corey.
No, it'll be great, and hopefully none of us get arrested. And the parents are pleased that their children attended.
But I feel like if you don't get arrested, are you really like happy? Because then you didn't like push it to the.
So well.
I feel like you didn't push the events to the fullest.
So
where cops would show up.
There's definitely a note in the system that says like engage with caution, just because, like I'm like almost waiting for people to engage at points. So it's like, some people are like, I'm too fucking tired to deal with this dickhead of a kid. Like, fuck it.
I get that.
let them go. Yeah. You know, I like to do things that are kind of, you know, fun, like, you know, like a mixture between Forbes magazine and like Vogue and Jackass, like somewhere
definitely fall
kiltering
in the
in the middle,
Jackass.
yeah.
Oh my God, I so see that. Okay, so you started it 18 years ago.
I started it 18 years ago. Yep.
And how are we feeling about it today? Are we like happy
But
with
my legs, I'm feeling feeling nice.
soon your toes are going to be showing and you could start making money on those. I mean, I don't think you need the money, but like
Listen, little do you know, I'll share my toe only fan with you afterwards. We're doing a collab post. So yeah, I started when I was like, I started about 18 years ago.
Okay.
In my girlfriend's basement at the time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was painful.
Was she like,
Fat?
you're a loser, you need to create a business? Like, what was the vibes? You're like, no, she didn't call me a loser, but thanks.
No, you've called me, like, we haven't even been here for that long. You've really said some shit. It's okay. I'm gonna get you. Just give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
I actually started it in this apartment, and then I had my girlfriend had asked me to move in with her and her parents, which was super weird.
And you thought that was a good idea?
I'm not sure what I thought, but I did it. I was more marveled by the idea, so I moved into the West Island, which is like
Okay.
second or third worst place in the city, and I ran this business out of there, and also ran the household.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, I was
I'm just picturing you.
I was like
moving.
Mrs. Doubtfire, like a little bit like Pablo Escobar-esque, and then also Mrs. Doubtfire.
And are you like, okay, what am I doing with my life in this basement of my girlfriend's?
I don't know. It was kind of a blur. I was really stoned for that period.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely take lengthy cannabis breaks during the day, and I lived in this fucking thing, and I don't know what I was doing, but it kind of I guess out of boredom, I kind of rocked into this company. Obviously no longer with that girl, and only wish her unwell.
The best. Unwell. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wait, did she hurt you? Was she like your
Did she hurt me?
Yeah.
No, she was a pig, and she...
What do you mean she was a pig?
Like a pig.
What does that mean?
Like if I see her on the street, I'd scream like pig. Like,
oh my God.
she was a shitty person, and she when I broke up.
You should always wish your ex as well. This is not.
Well,
this is not
I'll
looking good for
caveat
you.
to the fact that when I politely, we moved out of her parents' house, thank God.
I mean.
Yeah, because I think the reason that we moved there is because she spent the money that she had saved, because she was living in my apartment, on going to Arizona to cheat on me with some like dude. I think that was the whole like thing.
How long did you guys date for?
I think like 3-4 years.
Oh, okay. Like,
You know, it was like,
still like a decent amount of time.
yeah, like
To like date someone and call them a pig.
Well, so when I broke up with her, she had me arrested. She tried to break into my house with my friends there. It was this whole thing. So that's why she's a pig, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's more to the story.
It's a lot to the story, but.
Okay, so you started your business while you were.
So I started my business while I was like in this kind of basement in Dollard, and we'd started it on eBay and realized that there was like a whole different.
When you say started on eBay, you were just like outsourcing glasses, getting them in, and then.
So yeah, so the main part of the business was generally, and still is, that we're a designer vintage archive. Mm-hmm. So we stock about 1 million to 1.5 million, closer to 1.5 million designer vintage frames. So like the frames you're wearing are 1998 or 99 Fendi. So if someone wants a glass from like the 70s or 80s or 90s, like we'll have them in a designer brand, and we'll have exactly the one that they would remember from when they were a kid or whatever the fuck. So we were collecting glasses and selling it on the internet at the time. And then when we moved out, we changed the company, and we called it the company formerly known as. Okay. But we were so fucked up that we spelt the company name wrong on our door, and only realized it when like UPS was like, we're looking for the company formerly known as, but we spelt it formally.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was weird.
You
but
guys were high for sure.
We were high as fuck. But we were happy. So we did that. And then, I started to take it. more serious. Like, not that I didn't take it seriously, but I started to realize that we had like a real major business opportunity.
How did you know this business was different than the other ones you started in the past that you kind of like ended?
Well, so typically in fashion, like if you went to fashion marketing, most people die with clothes when they're out of season, right? Mm-hmm. So they either die with clothes when they're out of season, or they die with like buying the wrong color, or or the wrong size. So if you could find a business where it didn't check those boxes, like
genius.
that was like the whole thing. And watching people who thought they were successful, like who were at one point, have such an upswing and then not know how to get the downward spiral, like, and not know how to handle that, like reputation wise, like people get very egotistical around success, which is fucking weird. And people really hold on to like feelings. So I needed to make sure there was no sizes, no colors, no seasons, and an exit plan. So if these glasses are not cool or relevant in any way tomorrow, we can turn it into just a medical, and people actually need glasses. So like investing in a commodity that people need is great.
One thing you actually don't know is that I worked for an optical company. I was a sales rep. So selling eyewear for the company Marklin. I don't know if you know them.
Do I know them? I know them very well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Marklin.
Shout out to Marklin.
And that ended? Yeah, I feel like there's trauma in your eyes.
Oh my
with
God,
Marklin.
there's so much
like a bad boss. There was a bad boss.
Well, I worked there for quite some time. Like I didn't work there for like 4 months and I was like, I can't do this. I did it for probably like almost 3 years, maybe like 2.5.
Yeah.
And like being a sales rep is fun because it's not like a 9 to 5. It was my first kind of job where I was like, ooh, freedom exists, in the sense where like I create my own schedule. I go see clients when I want to. I choose what I'm doing for the day. So that was like fun. And I was dealing with, I was going into like optical stores, but
and they were eating you up. I'm sure they were fucking eating you up.
What do you mean?
I'm sure they were so happy. These like stale doctors, they see this like young cute girl come in and they're like,
I'm there with my thing, like I'm selling glasses.
They're like, whatever, you just cool. Tell me whatever the fuck you want.
100%. There was certain clients where that was great. They would be like, don't like. I'd even have some clients where like, we trust you. Don't even come in. Like, put as many as you want in. I'm like, clutch. Commission's gonna be
not
great.
even to come in.
Not even to come in.
Oh.
You're like, well, no. I would make you come in.
I would have made you come in.
But like depending,
if we're gonna throw it all away, you're fucking coming in. You know, what the fuck?
But you know what the hard thing with that? Doctors who are choosing the glasses, it depends, because sometimes when there's girls.
So here's the funny part: doctors generally don't choose the glasses.
No.
So they brought you. That was the finesse.
No.
I don't know a single doctor that chooses glasses.
No, I mean in opticals, like the doctor will sometimes come out, be like, we like these, but for the most part, yes.
No,
like,
they won't.
What do you mean? They're like working in the back.
You see it like an optician.
An optician.
Okay, but they're not doctors.
They're still considered doctors.
As much as I consider myself a doctor.
Okay.
I'm like very far from a doctor.
They're doctors, just different type of doctors. Opticians are doctors. They still went to school and they went to optician school. Eye doctors.
They're not. An eye doctor's an eye doctor.
I see the trauma there. They're not doctors.
They're not doctors. I'm not a doctor. I mean, okay. So you went in and you got finessed. It's fine.
Like, it's really hard being a sales rep where you're selling glasses where like.
Of course it's hard. You're selling to the only person that can't make a decision.
Yes, and also first of all, when I started there, the lines I got were like Swarovski.
Wow.
I had
it's up your alley. Yeah.
I had, what else did I have? I had Victoria's Secret at a point. And there was still like, there was other girls working there that had like Tom Ford and all the things. I'm like, hey, if I'm going to do this, it's like I'm moving towards getting a better line.
But they knew that they weren't
like
selling. They weren't
yes.
selling to doctors. Okay, so okay, it's fair.
And anyways, after a while, I was like, I don't like this. I'm not into this anymore. And then
Right. Okay. And now you're here.
And now I'm a doctor.
Now you're a doctor interviewing me. I love this.
They were like, you did your work.
You did it.
You're like, I'm a doctor.
So you work for Marklin, and that's cool.
I worked for Marklin.
Yeah.
That was great though. That was fun. It was a good experience connecting with people but I feel like.
How old were you?
I was like maybe like 22.
22-year-old you would have walked into an optical practice if you didn't sell these fucking people everything.
No, I was.
Oh,
I was doing great. Like, but it's like I'm selling guests. I'm selling.
You could have sold them bullshit.
For
They
sure.
would have. Yeah.
I'm there with my iPad. Like, okay, how many do you want?
I wouldn't have even brought an iPad. I just would have winked. Where were these doctors? No, I want to know. I want to know. Like, this is awesome.
The eye doctors, they were in the back. They would come out depending on.
Marcolin.
They were like, Alessia's here? Okay, let's come out.
Marcolin's like a modern or like an early OnlyFans.
Okay, truth is, I left because my boss was nuts.
Right.
Okay? Nuts.
Well, obviously, it convinced you that you were seeing doctors. I'm still choked up about this doctors thing. So the optical stores have
Doctors.
doctors. Yeah. I like that. You must be fun on a dating profile. It's like, oh, he works somewhere in the back? He's a fucking doctor.
But they are eye doctors.
An eye doctor is an eye doctor.
Okay.
An optician is not. But anyways.
Anyway.
I'm happy that I'm happy
that I'm fighting
I'm happy
this.
that you're happy. Yeah.
Okay, so you start vintage frames.
I do.
And you realize that this is way better than getting into the fashion industry.
I grew up kind of in the I grew up in like a time where culture or like the hip hop community was kind of trying to find its way and become like a more prominent, respected community. And different friends of mine took different roles in that. And people would take like A&R roles or managing roles or, you know, rappers or whatever the fuck it was. And so I took the position of being like the eyewear guy in that. So it was like an interesting, non-invasive way to coexist with my friends where we could kind of come up together instead of compete against each other. And so that's kind of how I know you probably would have heard that in one of my other boring interviews.
You
No, it's
have
okay.
not let that go.
I think it's great.
Okay, so when you started, before you got into the eyewear though, you were kind of like, I heard you were doing something with like Amber Rose at the time, like you were maybe going to start like a TV show.
So Amber and I became friends. I think she had just split up with Kanye. She was just meeting Wiz, and we became friends because she was like the glasses girl, and she was interesting not only because she's like a homie. She's pretty dope, but she was the first person that would influence both sexes with eyewear. So she was kind of important and iconic, and she was obviously Amber and whatever. Mm-hmm. So we went out to do we did a TV pilot called Behind Her Shades.
But how did you get introduced to all these people?
So I used to tour manage people at different points and like do stuff like that. But it all kind of stemmed from sneakers.
Okay.
Because I have a real sneaker collection, not like a weird like Kanye fucking Yeezy
What's the
collection.
difference between a real sneaker?
So at one point to wear like the illest shit, it wasn't about Nike saying like, yo, we're making 100 pairs of this, we're making 50 pairs of this, or we're doing a limited edition. You needed to know someone that was in another city. So like releases were generally general releases. Okay. So let's say Foot Locker in Montreal or Canada would release, I don't know, a yellow and white Dunk. And that would come out every Thursday, or it was Wednesday, or whatever the day was. And something different came out in the States, and something different in Europe, and something different in Japan. So if everyone could go and get the one that came out in Montreal, and you had like, you would go to a club, and you would have every dude, like if they were really sneakerheads, wearing the same shit, which looked like
the more people have accessibility to it, the less it becomes.
It was like it was weird, you know. Everyone would be in the same shit all the time because they would be shopping at the same stores. There was the internet, like we only really started in like Nike Talk, which was a trading forum at the time, kind of within those years. But you needed to have like homies in the States. So if the orange Dunk was coming out here, let's say, and the yellow one was coming out there, well, we could just send you the orange, you would send me the yellow, and then I would be the like flyest kind of dude here, and you would be popping there. And so
when Nike had realized that they had collectors, they started to contrive the hype. Limited editions, collaborations, all this type of stuff. So like you go to these sneaker conventions like now, which are, I mean, it's interesting that there's a culture, but it's not, people aren't really collecting sneakers. They're trading a commodity. So, oh, I bought this Yeezy for fucking 150 and I'm going to sell it at 165. And like, they don't even really care or wear or know the history, and they don't really attach it in the same way. So it's been a whole complete, like, different shift. And that goes back to fashion culture and business culture. And obviously it all comes in like a circle. And if you're intelligent enough to realize that there's a circle to it, and if you're well financed enough to be able to either lead the circle, catch the circle, or, you know, exist with it, then any one of those businesses or things kind of become profitable.
Okay, so you start buying, obviously, like sneakers.
Yeah.
And then are you're collecting them? You're not selling them?
No, I'm not selling them.
Okay, and then how did this kind of transition into you being around like Amber Rose?
Oh, so I was the first person to culturally be relevant in that segment. So I held, like, you know, when the John Buscemi's were out, and like, you know, the Undefeateds and Supremes and all this type of stuff, like no one was doing glasses. And so I really held on to that niche. And because I was not only holding the stock, but actually educated in it, and like obviously a little bit, you know, out of my mind at point, maybe not out of my mind, just passionate about the way I want to live life.
Yeah.
It stood out. And so I became friends with a lot of these people, and through sneaker trading and shit like that. And then, you know, met Amber somehow because she needed the glasses. Like, you were not getting vintage glasses
Unless you were going to Corey.
Unless you were going to me, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was like my stronghold on shit. And I would grind it out. Like, I would take friends with me. We would drive to New York, and we would like have glasses in a box and try to sell it to stores or to the artists and stuff like that. And just kind of got ourselves into wild adventures.
And did your collaboration with Amber ever happen?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
so Amber and I did a frame called the Trouser Snake,
Okay.
which had snake skin, and I just thought it was funny to have Amber like be like, yo, I just put the trouser snake on my face. And she was a good sport about it. Like, so Amber's dope. Like, she's resilient. She's like very straightforward, very Philly.
Would you say that's what kind of popped it off?
Not really.
Was there like a moment in your career where you're like, fuck, like I kind of made it? And if so, like, what was that moment?
You know, I think like the hardest thing, like one of the biggest downfalls I have is I have no idea what success is. I have no idea what, like, I understand failure very well because to me it's like tangible. I don't know, like, I don't think at any point I've ever said like, okay, I made it. I still don't think I've made it anyway. Like, even when I do something, I just move the goalpost every time, like to thousands of dollars of therapy. Like, you know, while most people are like, wow, you know, like, cool, you did this. Well, it's like, okay, but I did this, but
Yeah.
like, what's the next parlay?
What about working with like a celebrity? Where you like, I want to work with this person, like I did it, I made it.
You know, I think the success of working with the celebrities was kind of treating them like equals and just saying wild shit to them. Like, you know, one of the biggest glasses people is Rick Ross. And Ross like had this magazine cover, XXL. I don't know if you remember the magazine, but like there was two main hip hop magazines, XXL and Source. And if you made it on the cover of that was like Vogue for our industry.
Yeah.
And so Ross came out with this cover, and he was wearing this glass. He was talking about like vintage glasses in the interview. And there was an email to send beats on the inside. And I like wrote him an email. I was sitting at Claremont. And I wrote him this email. And the tag was like, how could you be the boss? You're getting middled on your glasses. And like not even 5 minutes. So I wrote this like very short body text like, yo, I thought you were a boss, and like how you claiming to be a boss if you're not at the source. And like not even 5 minutes later, I got a call, like not even 5 minutes later. And someone's like, was kind of aggressive on the phone. They're like, yo, you sent that email? I was like, what email? The one about the glasses? I was like, to Ross? They were like, yo, hold on. And then they put Ross on the phone, and then like the next day I was on my way out to his place in Atlanta. And
you almost like say out loud this shit, and it's like, who's this guy?
No, I always say out loud. It's not that I say outlandish shit. I just say honest things to people. And I think that if you're honest to people, like I think people aren't used to being told the truth. And if you tell someone the truth, sometimes it sounds crazy because people sugarcoat it.
I agree with that.
Like,
happens so much.
So I would.
Like I'm literally telling you the truth.
Yeah.
This is like, you should be like, thank you.
Yeah. And sometimes people, when you tell them the truth and it's so like kind of outlandish, they're like, nah, I don't believe you. It's like, no, yeah. No,
or they're like respect.
Like I am. Like, or some people, yeah. But it definitely opens doors because people are not used to being talked to like that, especially when you're talking about celebrities and shit. People want to be handled like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And like, I shouldn't, because there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the news with these artists now, but
who? Name one.
I can't.
Drop some names. Come on.
I can't. I will, but one of them brought me up to his place in Miami, and he was like, he was there with his security. And he's like, yeah, and he was trying to get the glasses for free, and like, no offense, but I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Like, and
also, yeah.
Like, I don't want to give you shit.
Do you feel like celebrities haggle the most for like deals?
Do I feel they haggle the most?
They're like, oh,
it depends.
Do you know who I am type thing? Like, I deserve, like, I'll kind of not even like shout you out, but like,
well, so
I'll be seen in them. Like,
this
don't
guy,
you want to give
this
them
guy
to me?
did, and
Who's the guy?
I can't. I mean, I really.
He lives in Miami.
We just
he
can't.
has some scandals going on about him now.
I mean, everyone. I'm just gonna parlay it that everyone who lives in Miami has scandals going. Okay. But he was like, yo, he's like, he was put all these glasses. Like, yo, you're gonna take a pic, and you want to take a. He's like, you want a pic, or we need a pic or some shit, or are we gonna do a pic? And I was like, he's insinuating that he wants the shit for free. And I was like, man, like, if you want a picture of me, like, just let me call my assistant. He'll send over a headshot so you could put it on your desk, I guess, or wherever you want to put it. Yeah. He was like, what? I was like, oh, you were asking for a picture of me. He was like, nah, I was asking if you wanted a picture with me. I was like, nah, I'm good. But if you wanted me, like, I got you.
I'm dying.
And like, everyone was like, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like people like that need to be put in their place. No?
Yes.
Relax.
I think everyone's like,
you're still a human. Like,
everyone's the same person. I know people who live on the street. I know people who own the street that they live on. To me, they're the same people. Like, we're all people, and like, we might be at different fiscal stages, but fuck cares? Like, you can't treat people the way that you don't want to be treated.
So what happened in the end? Did he pay for them, or were you like, I'm getting the fuck
Nah,
out?
he fucking paid for them.
He paid for them.
Fucking paid for them.
Who was a celebrity you worked with who still owes you money? Drop names.
You know who the worst is?
Who?
Cat fucking Williams.
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams still owes me money. Cat, you motherfucker. You still owe me fucking money. This guy. And he's such a nice, like, charismatic dude.
How many glasses did you give him?
He owes me money for jewelry. Like, I think like 17 G's.
17 G's.
It's a lot. Fucking Cat Williams, you're doing specials now, man. Get at me.
Are you still selling jewelry? No.
No. So, as a cliche of the hip hop industry, like, I think it's fairly cliche. Like, at the time, you had like Rockefeller, and Rockefeller was like Kanye. They signed him, the fucking weirdo, and they did like a chaining ceremony. So you'd get a chain from Jay or Dame Dash and stuff, and like, that's all I ever wanted. And so when I started to make a little bit of money, like, not even like really like enough to pay rent type money, but I was like, shit, this is great. Like, I don't have to fucking finesse my rent at all. Like, just, I'm out here. And so these like Jewish chicks on from like very to-do families had a place on Green Avenue where they would sell vintage jewelry. And so I went in one day and I bought this Chanel like necklace because it was all like it was a gold dip thing, but it was all I could afford. And honestly, like I put on that, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I was like, damn, I was like probably 100 pounds heavier. I would have been topless going out just to show off this chain. And I went to
and look at you now.
Look at me now.
Still putting on them chains.
Still putting on
Does
those.
your neck hurt from, wearing those chains?
I got this light shit. So we went to Miami to meet Pharrell, and we went to his studio to do glasses for him. And I was so embarrassed because this chain that I had wasn't a real, it was a real Chanel chain, but it wasn't a real chain. So I tucked my chain and like I did this appointment. I was like, Pharrell was Pharrell, like, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude. Like, I think actually he was one of the people that I was like, wow, like, like we're out here. And so we went to Pharrell's studio and he's like the nicest guy in the world. And as I'm leaving, he's like, yo, he's like, come here. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what's up? And he like puts his hand like kind of to my shirt and pulls on my chain. He's like, yo, what's this? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he fucking saw my fake chain. Like, this is crazy. I'm like, oh, it's this Chanel. He's like, yo, that's the coolest chain I've ever seen. He's like, can I borrow it? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I'm making a chain with Murakami, with Jacob the jeweler, and I've been looking for the perfect chain to pair with this like piece. And I was like, wow, fucking Pharrell is asking me to borrow his chain. I was like, cool, sure. I gave my shit. I'm like, yeah, perfect. Pharrell chain, cool. I think like a month or some shit's gone by and I don't get my chain back. And I call up Pharrell or Pharrell's people, actually, not even Pharrell. And I'm like, hey, I haven't got the chain. And Pharrell hits us. He's like, well, what do you mean you haven't got it back? And within 5 minutes, not even, I think even a minute, I'm on the phone with Jacob, who at the time is the biggest jeweler there is. Like, I mean, he's still fucking, incredible. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, fucking Jacob the jeweler is calling me about a chain. I'm like, this is fucked up. I'm on Westminster. I'm on top of a deli in a little fucking office, pretending like, I'm like, oh, hold for Mr. Shapiro, like, do. I'm like, hello?
Fake it till you make
Jacob.
it.
I'm like, yo, Jacob, what's up? And he's like, I'm so sorry we lost the chain. I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, listen, how much was the chain? We'll give you a credit. Whatever you want, we got you. Like, we'll give you a credit for this. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, the chain, it has sentimental values and it's kind of like it's worth more money because it's from this era and blah, 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 and this whole thing. And he's like, well, how much was it? And I don't remember what I said, but I said something wild, like 10 grand or 15 grand or something crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want me to pay you 10 grand or whatever it was for this chain? I'm like, yeah. And you hear him like, fuck. Next day I had a check because it was Pharrell. Like, he was the big jewelry in Pharrell. Like, if you fuck that up, then
you're going to come on this podcast and talk about it.
Then you're going to be in a bathrobe with your dick out on a podcast in St. Henry. So anyway, so I got this chain. So they paid me for this chain. And I was like, yo, if Pharrell...
Do you think they lost it or Pharrell loved it and he wanted to keep it?
No, so even better. The story gets even better. They pay me for the chain. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I take that money. I'm like, well, if I can convince Pharrell, or maybe Pharrell can convince me that this is the craziest chain, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we could do this kind of like all around, So we started to take basically women's belts, and we made it like in the hip hop industry, it was no longer what was like anybody could go and buy a Jacob chain if they could afford it.
Yeah.
But you had the same concept of vintage glasses. You had to know someone to get these chains. So we had every fucking rapper wearing these chains, like 2 chains, like all the shit. and all these people. So we're selling jewelry at that point, but archived jewelry. And we don't sell it anymore. Long-winded story, but we don't sell it anymore. But that also helped kind of parlay into all these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was watching a podcast and you were, I think there was like
You watched
Mac
a lot
Miller.
of podcasts on me.
What?
You watched a lot of podcasts. I feel like
do.
I haven't seen that many podcasts on me.
I'm a podcaster. I have to do my research.
Okay.
You were saying how you were selling to Mac Miller.
Yes.
How is he, by the way?
He's dead.
No, I know he's dead. I'm sorry. I said that
So not
wrong.
so good
No.
currently, but
No, but I mean, after meeting him,
Mac was like my little brother.
well, you can't say anything mean. He's dead, but
I mean, there's nothing mean to say about Mac.
he was buying chains or frames.
Mac was buying chains. He was buying frames. He was just happy. Mac was happy to be there. He was always happy to be there. The whole crew was happy to be there.
And from the podcast, I was hearing that you were selling, like he bought all your Chanel vintage, right?
Yeah, he bought a lot. I mean, everybody bought it. Like, you did not.
Did you have your brand at that time, or were
No.
you just doing vintage
Just
eyewear?
Vincent. So my brand started in 2018.
Okay.
And kind of parlayed the company into a different thing because it now put us into like different stores like Holtz and Kith and Neiman's and shit like that. But before it was just curated, whereas now we actually produce things. So that was 2018. And the reason kind of for that was I've touched more frames. You're waiting for me to say something crazy. It's fine. I mean, I could go that way too. I could tell you I've touched.
No, it's just the way.
You know, I've touched a lot of shit.
Okay.
No, so I've physically touched more. You want me to run it again? Do you want me to do it as a sound?
I mean,
a cool
you're not
sound
helping
bite?
yourself when you're like.
I don't. You know,
Okay, go on. Sorry. So you touched a lot of frames.
Yeah, I've touched a lot of frames.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because the way that I buy and like the way that I, run the business, I've probably handled more frames than anyone ever has because I'm not committed to a certain brand. I'm committed to eras and like curating and purveying. So I know what's good with a frame, what's bad with a frame, where it sold well, where it didn't sell well because of the commodities, how it impacted culture, how people have used it as designs. So I have so much knowledge in the frames that I was like, fuck it. It's a lot easier to sell, 100 of a frame instead of one frame.
Yeah.
So we would sell to like, I don't know, Kim or any of the Kardashian clan, and everyone would want that frame, but we wouldn't have it because we sold the only one that we had in the archive. So we might have a million frames there, but that was probably like a one-on-one type shit.
Calling back the client you sold it to, you're like, I need this.
Like, yo,
Kim wants it.
like,
how much do you want?
No, we have such interesting clients, and it's so diverse. Like, obviously, the clients that people talk about the most are the celebrity clientele. Like, obviously.
Yeah, I'm out here like drop names. Let's go.
Well, you haven't asked me
so
those
Kim K,
questions
did
yet.
you meet her? How is she?
I have met her. She's very nice. She's very poised. We work very closely with her stylist, who's also ill, like actually knows what she's talking about. But for many years
The Israeli girl?
Danny, yeah. Okay. She's no fuck around. A lot of stylists are like the worst,
Yeah. Well, she came from what, Kanye, right? Like
Who did?
Kanye had her
Danny?
first. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Kanye had her first, and then she.
I don't fuck with.
You don't
Kanye.
fuck with Kanye?
I don't fuck with Kanye.
Really?
At all.
Why? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why.
I mean,
But have you met him?
I've met Kanye, but not in a very like more in passing scenarios.
Okay.
Never in like really giving him the time or he giving me the time. I don't think Kanye likes Kanye. I think that's the whole thing.
That makes sense.
I don't think he likes himself. And I think that's where this all stems from, and I know everyone from all the camps very well. And a lot of them are lovely people and a lot of them aren't.
So you've seen him in passing, but you haven't ever spoken to him?
No, I've spoken to him, but it's never been in a setting where it's been like, where we've really like hung out, you know, or exchanged any valuable conversation, you know?
He was never like, I want to do a collab, like on a pair of glasses, nothing.
He's worn our glasses a bunch of times. Okay. If someone's not a nice person, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
I'm just not the right guy. Not only am I not the right guy, but I'm so like linguistically, I will fuck you up for no, like just people with big egos and who kind of toy with the rest of the world are my favorite people because, you know, as they're looking down on me, I'm like chopping their legs, like bringing them down to earth, you know?
Who's a celebrity you met that you thought would be different and then you met them and you're like, wow, they're actually cool or they're actually like a piece of shit besides Kanye?
I think
could be good or bad.
I think the coolest artist was probably Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga? Oh,
Yeah.
I can see that 1,000%.
Yo, I made the biggest party foul with her ever. Like, ever. She was, like, biggest in the world at the time. And I was close with Perez Hilton.
Okay.
And Perez was, like, very close with her. And so I really needed to, like, kind of labyrinth favors to get to her. And we did, and I went to meet her, and she never let anyone take pictures. And I was like, fuck this. I'm like, I need a picture of this girl. And I also didn't know too much about her backstory, like her personal life. And at the time, she had this, like, abusive boyfriend.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dude, and I guess there was things in the tabloid where, like, they were on and off in relationships. He was, like, a real fucking scumbag of a dude. And so I went to do this appointment, and I was taking pictures as I was doing the appointment, like super party foul, you know? It was, it was terrible.
It wasn't at the time where there were like phones in the bin before you go in.
No, we weren't at phones.
We weren't there yet.
We hadn't learned that phones should be in the bin. But I had my phone, and I'm like trying to take pictures, and the fucking flash goes off. And
even you though.
Yo, this flash goes off, and the boyfriend fucking freaks.
No.
Yo, he fucking freaks. And I'm there with this hairdresser dude that I brought with me. This dude Rafi, like to kind of level set this whole situation. Yeah. And Rafi like looks at me. He's fucking white. This dude.
What did he say?
We couldn't say anything. We're in the back of the Bell Center. My fucking flash goes off. This dude starts charging towards me. And I'm like, fuck. I fucked this up so bad. And I was like, nah.
You're like Lady Gaga.
I'm trying to make a call, you know, and my beard set the fucking phone off. The guy's like, fuck you. Like, and she jumps in. She's like, no. She's like, his beard set off the flash, set off the phone. He wasn't taking pictures. And I'm like standing behind her. I'm like, nah, I wasn't taking pictures. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I was taking pictures. You know? Like, I was like, wow, this is, like, I was so geeked, you know?
I feel like Lady Gaga just loves her fans. She's like, I'm gonna ride or die for this guy.
No, she's like.
You're like, I'm not a fan, but I am.
Of her? I'm a fan of hers.
Yeah.
I'm a super, like, she's an incredible musician. Yeah. She's an incredible person. Great. She's very passionate. She was a huge, huge supporter of us. Like, huge. She would.
What happens when, like, a celebrity wants to do a collaboration? Like, how does it work? Like, what's the procedure like? Is it like the glasses you have that you alter, like the lenses and stuff, or do you recreate?
First, we put on bathrobes.
First, you put on bathrobes. Then you get an eye doctor.
Then we get an eye doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends at the time. So, like, Amber's collab, which I want to say was the first celebrity collab that we did.
Does she say, this is kind of the route I want to go?
A bit. Like, people put in input, but at the end of the day, if you're not a designer, you're not a designer, right? Yeah. And, like, you want to really trust the designer. Amber had a lot more input, but for Amber, we took we took unbranded glasses
Okay.
that were made by the Emmanuel Kahn factory. We altered them and then changed it. And we did like this whole video set. And at the time, like Vin from Dime, who like made Dime, the brand,
Okay, yeah.
he was like the one that shot it. And so there was like kind of this interesting moment. So that's those collabs at first. So like we did altered, like vintage altered collabs with like Metro and Fab and Rich the Kid and like all kinds of fucking people. And once 2018 hit and we were producing, like all the new collab stuff is actually designed with the artist. But yeah, it kind of varied. This is so funny that, by the way, we're sitting here, and not only are we sitting here in our bathrobes in my store, just to kind of parlay this, but like her pants are just casually sitting on the floor that you guys can't see.
Well,
And
I had them on, and I'm like, wait, I think they show on set, so I gotta.
we had to show, and I'm like, I want to commit to this, you know. So I took my whole shit off. Like, I'm cool.
Wait, you have to sell those feet. Don't show that.
Dude, forget about the feet. I'm at Pilates 5 times a week.
Wait, are you?
Yeah.
Health and wellness. Okay, we like
Shit.
it. We like it. Okay, now I want some gossip. I want some like drama.
What's up?
Can we talk about P. Diddy? Since like you obviously know him.
Yeah. You know,
Why? You know him well. I feel like you guys got into a few feuds. Let's talk about that.
no, we just had at points we had different of opinions. I feel
like Snapchat will eat this up.
no, I think that, wow, I gotta super tread lightly on this. This is like gotta be political. I think that many things that Puff had accomplished in his life were astonishing, like really outstanding. And I think that those things aside are ill. Any accusations that like I don't want to and can't confirm or deny.
The fact that you can't confirm or deny,
I mean,
confirms.
No,
but yeah.
it's not. That's not it. I also know his kids very well, and his kids are like super fucking nice.
Let's just say like the allegations that he's being accused of, are they?
I don't know. I can't.
When you would have like a few feuds with him, what were they about? Like business, like eyewear situations?
They were definitely business, but most of them were orchestrated. Like most of them got fucked up because of his stylist. But I met Puff because of Cassie. Like,
gorgeous.
I mean,
Just like
not only gorgeous, like as a human, like physically, she's like a gorgeous person. Like Cassie's the fucking nicest. And I met Cassie before she was dating Puff. I met Cassie when she was dating Ryan Leslie, which was before, you know, and actually Ryan was one of the first bigger celebrity clients, and like did an article about me and like all kinds of stuff like that.
But then she started dating P. Diddy.
She did.
And then she kind of went out saying everything about him.
She
and then
did.
she went quiet all of a sudden.
She did.
And then obviously like he paid her to shut up.
No, I don't. I mean,
You don't think so?
I don't pay her to shut up. I don't know. Like, you know, I think there was definitely a lump sum of money that was discussed in a lawsuit, but I don't know what, like,
Yeah.
I don't, it's,
Okay. We can move on.
yeah, I
Are you still like, do you still talk to him or?
I mean, I would talk to him if I saw him. Like, you know, but, you know, am I going to the house to party?
You're like, no.
You know, karma's a bitch. People, you know, get what they give.
Karma is fair. Like,
I think in a lot of times, not saying that he deserves any of this or doesn't, you know, a lot of like, you know, he was one person that was like so integral and monumental in building this hip hop community that it's like,
he has so much dirt on everyone.
well, I'm sure he does. Yeah. I mean, I think we all have dirt on everyone.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a shame because like when you were a kid, like if you were my age and you were coming up and you were like, oh my God, I get to do something with Puff, like before social media and whatever, that was like monumental. It was like, if you could do something with Puff and Jay-Z and like Pharrell or Dre, like that was fucking insane. You know, these people weren't accessible.
Didn't you do a collab with Jay-Z? Like
No.
I saw.
I've done glasses for him.
Right.
I would love to do a collab with Jay. Get at me, Emery. Maybe one day with Planes I would do a collab, but no, I've done custom glasses for him and for like all them. Jay also was like, I also had a party foul with our first time. Like I was going to take a picture. So
You're getting fucked
no,
over
I'm getting. I was. There was like there was a 3-month period where I was really happy to take pictures with people, and it was just terrible. And so Pharrell was like when I went to meet Pharrell for the first time, he was like, "Do you know Jay?" And I was like, "Nah," super casual, like I'm just some kid backstage with glasses who came for a meeting with Pharrell, which is already like wild, and like, yo, you know Jay? I was like, no. He's like, well, I'm going to put you on. And like Pharrell walked me into Jay's dressing room, went to his assistant at the time, Carlene, was like, yo, whatever Jay's doing.
He hooked it up.
Yeah, he's like, whatever Jay's doing, he needs to stop immediately and meet this kid. And
wow.
Yeah, like, and really just because he wanted to put him on. And Jay, I really wanted a picture with. Really wanted a picture at the time. That to me was like, fuck it. This is going on the fridge type shit, you know? Like we are
like
framing,
I met Jay-Z.
Yo, we are, forget about medium. We are doing business. And so when he was trying on the glasses, I was like, yo, do you mind if I take a pic? I couldn't even finish the sentence. And his fucking handler was like, no. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. Like Jay didn't even flinch on it, but this girl was like, no. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, did I fuck this up? I was like, I already just fucked up some shit with Gaga. Like, this is fucking crazy. Yeah, Jay was a big one. But no, I have not done it.
So you never got a picture with him?
I never got a picture with him, no. Aww. And then like anytime you go to their house or like wherever, you have to sign like a wild NDA, so you're not even at that point. That's generally with most people who are at that like level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what advice, because obviously you're great on marketing, you marketed your business, it's doing great. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to anyone who's kind of starting a business and wants to market it? Because you did it in a time where like Instagram was just starting, right? And very different than now. So what advice would you give anyone who's starting and needs to like get their brand out there?
I really to me, people who use social media and are like super cautious about like, oh, I'm gonna follow this like social plan and I'm gonna post things once or try to do this like cool guy, cool girl shit. Just shows that they're nervous about their own product. Like to me, it's not. Like,
interesting.
Like if you got something and you got the balls to do it or whatever,
just go balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. And if it fails, cool, pick it up, like keep it moving, you know? And I think that the only thing that matters, or the only thing also that I've been able to equate is successful, especially in my life, is the ability to fail. That's the best thing that you can learn how to do. Like people, you can't learn how to win. Like you happen to win. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you learn how to fail and get up, like it's great. And we live in Montreal. It's such a, like, I mean, I physically live here.
But mentally you're at your store in Miami.
Mentally we're training. Yeah. Mentally we're training people in Miami. No, but it's such a small city. Like, I mean, even with you, it takes, like some people will look at the podcast and go like, oh, look what the fuck she's doing and blah, blah, blah. But yo, look what she's doing. She's putting herself out there. Yeah. She's not afraid to like fail. She's wearing a bathrobe in an optical store. She has her pants on the ground and she's completely berated the foremost authority.
No doctor in the back.
I'll just be very upfront. There is no doctor in the back. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what you think, but I don't want to lead you down the wrong path. This is not Markland. There is no doctor in the back, okay? There's no doctor in the back. I am not wearing pants. This is it. I am naked in a bathrobe with this young lady.
With this creature.
With this who has told me how shit I was.
No. Okay, so basically your advice to people who start
is fucking
fail,
fail.
keep going,
Yeah.
put yourself out there, don't think too much, just do,
Yeah.
and embarrass yourself a million times before something works out.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, just don't be afraid to like, who gives a fuck what people say?
Yeah.
You know, you, at the end of the
I
day.
feel like you're very good at just like not giving a fuck. Has that always been your character?
It has. I've definitely got, you know, in my late teens, actually, I got more comfortable with the notion of it.
Is this when you left your girlfriend's parents'
The pig?
basement?
No. No, I was comfortable before that. Fucking, what a wild pig. Honestly, just traumatic, you know?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Fucking pig. She lives in Ottawa now, I think.
You're a fucking pig.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of how like pay pigs want to be spoken to.
Talk to me about pay pigs. What's up?
No, pay pigs are nuts.
You like
Veronica
them?
Veronica and I put a video out like a year and a half ago talking about pay pigs. Pay pigs just want to be like financially dominated.
Do they want to pay you?
They want to pay. They're a pay pig.
What are they paying you?
So basically, they just
What do you have to do to be a pay pig?
you just have to yell at them.
So you just yell at people?
Yeah.
Do I need a pay pig?
I
in
mean,
life?
no. I think you are a pay pig.
You think I'm a pay pig? Okay. All right. We're gonna turn this one around now. You think I'm a pay pig?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So
also,
far, yeah.
pay pig. What glasses are you giving me today?
Dude, no. Dickhead. Maybe there's a doctor in the back that wants to see you. Wow.
Yeah.
And you don't have to fuck. You don't have to send pictures. None of that shit.
Like literally.
You just got to tell them that they're shitty.
I just have to tell them they're
listen,
shitty.
I want to tell all of you.
By the way,
Yeah.
Uncut Gems, great
Yes,
movie.
great
Uncut
show.
Gems.
Yeah. Julia.
Yes.
You've been waiting
By the way, I love Julia Fox.
Yeah, she's dope.
She's fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what I like about people who are just, she's so real. There's no like filter on her. Which I
Zero.
think is like really lost in like the celebrity world. It's just, oh, they get to a point where they're just like, oh, and then they're just like quiet, where she's just like, I'm gonna say anything,
Yeah.
which I like respect,
Right.
honestly. But Adam Sandler, when
Yeah.
I was watching the movie and I saw the glasses, I'm like, are those vintage frames? I'm
They
like, they
are.
look like it.
Yeah, they. So the
That's
o-
cool
the
to
o-
be like, the whole movie he's wearing those fucking
But
glasses.
you know, I didn't get to meet him. My friends are all in the movie. All I want to do is meet Adam Sandler. That's all I want to do.
For
like
sure.
my whole life is an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah,
like,
for
that's,
sure.
That's what it is. I like hang with my friends like we're out of Grown Ups. Like that's like
But
how
would you
we.
put your phone away or would you try and snap a picture?
I feel like that would be a picture moment. But I feel like I'd be a little bit more upfront about it. But I did the glasses. I never met him.
But who contacted you? I guess someone making the movie?
Yeah, the stylist who was doing it, I think is Mr. Mort was doing it.
Okay.
Like my homie Greg was in the movie and like a bunch of people and Abel was in it and shit like that. And kind of weird movie, to be honest with you.
I loved it. You didn't like it?
No, I didn't not like it, but I would much prefer like Happy Gilmore or like Grown Ups.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
classics. The classics with Adam Sandler.
yeah, like I like, you know, this new space shit. Like it's not really my shit.
So do you think he knows who you are?
I hope so.
You're like, he was wearing my glasses the entire time.
He was wearing my glasses. He seems to be in tune with it.
So how does it work when someone from
A movie?
film reaches out?
Kind of like a pay pig.
Really?
I tell them their shit, and then I'm gonna do it better, and then this is what they have to send me.
Okay.
Yeah, I wear pay pigs. I'm really big on this pay pig thing. I want to know how I get in. Like, how do I get in on this?
Well, I think you have to start by being a girl. So
don't
put
know.
on that wig.
Listen, I got legs. I got a nipple out here, chains. We'll pay pig together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could hit either one of our DMs. You could rope us into a convo.
You're
We're
not
fine.
making enough money with vintage frames.
It's not
never enough money.
Listen, I'll donate. Listen, I will donate your pay pig money to charity. Right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like shit now. Like, okay. What's your relationship like with Jeff Wittick now? You guys were like a duo at a point, right? Like,
it was a trio.
talk about that.
We had Jeff,
Okay.
Cody,
Okay.
and me, and like they would just show up. Like I'd be like, "Hey guys, we're going to Vegas." Be like, "Great, we'll meet you there." But you would walk in.
Wait, how did you meet? Like, what's the start of this?
From Amber.
From Amber.
From Amber.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jeff was on Amber's show.
Okay.
So it was me, Jeff, this girl Kalani, who Jeff was dating.
Okay.
Amber, Wiz, because they had just gone on their first date. And Jeff, like while they were going out and filming, Jeff was a barber. That was like, I mean, a very talented barber and dynamic, but Jeff was just like a cute barber, you know? Mm-hmm. And we became very good friends. I built my barbershop for Jeff, the fucking degenerate. And then when I built it, like we would have these talks all the time, like, yo, we should build a barbershop out of Versace. And I was like, cool, I'm going to build it. And he's like, yeah, great.
You built it here?
I fucking built it here. I built Notorious for Jeff. And then I'm like, yo, Jeff, the barbershop's ready. And he's like,
I'm in LA.
He's like, bro, you built a barbershop? I'm like, we've been talking about this. What are you talking about? He's like, I'm a criminal. I can't cross the border. I'm like, Jeff, dude, I just spent $1 million close to on buying a building and building a fucking barbershop. You're a criminal? You can't cross?
Wait, you didn't know he was a criminal at the time?
No, I didn't know that he couldn't cross. I mean, I knew he was criminal minded, but I didn't know he got caught.
Right.
And then we had Cody, who was like kind of like the security. He's on the show now. He went to jail for a bit. He was like very wild, and now he's like extreme sports wild and like health wild, but very reformed and like actually kind of inspirational. So we had them, and 40 Ounce Van was always with us, and we had like this wild crew. You would walk into Jeff and Cody wanted to live like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They would dress up in Hawaiian shirts, do drugs, take a fucking car. You would walk into their hotel room. It was like the couches would be shredded. There was fucking shit everywhere. There was girls on the floor. His fucking dog was like, humping like fucking girls that were sleeping on the floor. It was like insane.
You were basically providing like the eyewear, and
they would roll with me. So it would be like we would show up for an appointment, and it was like security, barber.
Wait, the appointment, is it for the haircut? What is it for?
No, it was for the glasses, and then we would kind of.
It was for the glasses.
We would weave in the haircut and like.
Oh, it was a one-stop shop.
Yeah, it was.
Would you guys have an RV? Beep, beep.
We wanted to at one point. We went to cut. Oh my God, we went to do a glasses appointment for the Prince of Bahrain.
Yeah.
And like the fucking Prince of Bahrain, like not like in Saudi where there's like a million, like not in those, like there's
not Dubai princes.
not that there's anything wrong with any of that. Not there's anything wrong, but this was like royalty. Like we had military with us, and like Jeff was cutting his hair and made a joke about cutting his face and like having like AIDS or something on the razor. It was like, I thought we were gonna die. I'm looking at him going, I'm like, Jeff, are you fucking crazy? Like, yo, the prince's face turned white. He was like, oh, I have to talk to you. I'm like, Jeff. I'm like, Jeff, I'm going to get killed here. Like, it was a lot, you know, we've had a lot of fucking fun. Like, a lot of fun. We did a wedding.
What if they're like, I don't want a haircut? Then it was just like, whatever.
Well, Jeff would be there. Like, it would just...
let me just do a little something.
Like, hey, you know, you're looking a little fucked up. But it wasn't... Jeff was just doing it... I don't know why Jeff was doing it. It was just...
Well,
Jeff,
it worked out for him now. So I guess, like...
Jeff could have done anything, and he would have been... He was just a very dynamic, pretty dude. Like, and he's witty. Like, he's actually... He's like... Quick with it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a pay pig.
Most people aren't.
I really want to do this pay pig thing.
I mean,
I think this is.
I think you need to be a girl though.
I think I can make it happen.
Or you can be some kind of like Andrew Tate, where like you set up, like you hire girls behind behind a screen, so they think it's them.
Yeah.
But it's really Andrew Tate writing shit behind. And,
I
like,
love
literally being
that.
a genius, him and his brother, and racking in a bunch of money from guys.
I don't know much about those dudes. Still get them though?
I still get them, but like.
But what's the?
I don't entertain anymore. I can't. It's like.
You can't just.
You can't just accept money. You can't do it. No, it's just.
Fucking wild. It's so wild. What about your celebrity stories? Have you told those on your podcast?
No, I don't really like to talk about those.
Why is that?
Because I like to keep my my name clean.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Talk about Diddy. Yeah, what's up with you? You good? Yeah, nah, just.
But one
cool.
person who did reach out after you posted your
Yeah.
videos was Steve Aoki.
Aoki, what's up, Aoki?
Aoki, yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah, not my type, but like super nice guy. I want to have him on the podcast.
But was he trying to hit, or he was just trying? Because a lot of times he's just trying to be friendly. He was a hitter.
I mean, I don't know.
So he's like randomly friendly.
I don't know. He like, I don't know. I was like, great. Like, I'm just like perfect. I want to have him on my podcast. So he
Did
was
you
like,
ask
what's your
him?
number? So yeah. So he took my number down, and then
He didn't give you his number?
no, he messaged me, and then actually recently when he was back here, he like wrote to me. He was like
Okay.
probably like had me under Alessia Canada girl. I'm in Montreal. Like, hello.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, like, blah, 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 like, we'd love to have you on the podcast. He's like, yeah, I know, going to Quebec City. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He was probably just wondering, like, if I was, like,
Gonna fuck.
gonna go to Quebec or whatever.
You wanted to go to Quebec.
No.
You were gonna travel.
No.
You were greyhounding it.
No, to be honest, though, like, celebrities are great and all, but
Why?
I would never.
But why?
I would never.
What makes them better?
Like, what do I get out of that?
I don't know. I'm
You
curious.
know what I mean? I rather, like, a normal guy who's, like, low-key.
Right.
I don't need, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fascination
With what?
with banging celebrities
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Have you ever banged a celebrity?
I have.
Okay. Start dropping names.
I have.
Okay.
I dated a celebrity.
Who?
I don't want to say her name, and I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't want to say her name. Listen, she has.
By the way, Jeff Wittick's podcast, Money Buys Happiness, they were all better than this one.
Maybe they were better questions. She's on Orange is the New Black.
Okay. I never watched that show. So.
Fair. She was a lot cuter when she was younger.
Okay. You have to emphasize on that.
Well, she's kinda
you might as well say her name at this
I
point.
cannot. You know why? I can't. Because then she's going to call me. I don't want to deal with her anymore. She's crazy.
Okay.
She'll show up here.
Okay.
Like she's...
Let me just...
She'll show up here.
What other celebrities have you banged?
Just porn chicks.
Porn?
But
Porn
they're not.
chicks?
They're not really celebrities.
What's the like? How do you feel when you hook up with a porn star, though? Like, how do you feel afterwards?
Usually satisfied.
Yeah?
I would say. Well, I don't know. Like, how do you feel? Great. Like
Name a porn star you hooked up with.
I don't know what her stage name would be.
Just say her regular name. We'll find her.
Her name was Marsha. I don't know what her...
Okay, you don't want to say.
No, I don't. I actually don't know her. I don't know her.
You didn't know her long enough.
No, I didn't really know her that long. I knew her just long.
enough. Just enough. Wait, have you ever paid for sex?
Have I ever paid for sex?
You're like, whoa, these questions are unhinged.
No. Have I paid to sleep with a girl? Never. Like,
That was like, okay, well, what
No,
question should I ask next? It was like, you switched it up on me. Have I ever paid? Have you
No.
ever given out vintage frames?
for sex?
For sex? 100% you have. Don't even fucking lie on this podcast.
No, I think. Well, hold on. It's not like hey, let's fuck. I may have used it as a
Come by, choose some frames.
like as an icebreaker, but it wasn't like yo,
Okay.
like you know, a blowjob's worth like this level, like, you know, like at a carnival, or, you know, to fuck is like this. But I've definitely used it as an icebreaker, you know, many years ago to intro. But have I ever paid for, like, have I ever paid like an escort? No. Have I gone to massage parlors? Yes. But I don't really think of that as paying for sex.
Because
Like,
you're paying for a massage.
Like, I don't think there's anything really sexual about it.
Okay, well, we gotta get into this.
I just don't think there's
Okay,
anything
wait.
sexual.
Everyone who hears about Montreal always says, Montreal, it's known for like massage parlors.
I mean, it was. Definitely was. Like, this area was all rub and tugs.
But how does it work? You go in.
You go in, yeah.
You go in, and how does it happen? Are you like, I'm gonna get the massage of 60 minutes? That's this, and like, how do you know? Because they obviously do it in a way, or because it's legal, they just flat out say it. Please enlighten me. I want to know.
No, I don't think it's like, so in all fairness, it's been many years.
Okay.
Like, and and it
Okay,
was
you
definitely.
go in, walk us in.
So
Come
you,
to my crib.
So you would walk in. So you would walk in, and you would, I guess, some places would probably let you present girls. There was only 2 places that I'd ever been to.
And those let you choose the girl.
One of the places let you choose the masseuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And other places you don't choose. But you would always go to that one.
No, it wasn't an always like I wouldn't get a stamp card and go there. But, you know, I think
He got a stamp card.
no, not a stamp card. I had a digital, I had a fob. No. No, it was like when you would go. So the funny thing about the whole rub and tug thing,
Yeah.
is like certain people really think of it as like medical. Like, to me, if I was getting
People
massage,
will say anything.
no, totally, like, and I'll tell you why. Like,
Oh my God, this
hold
guy
on,
had
hold
a fob and the fucking
no, I didn't
card.
have, listen. I think that a massage. I
love that you're saying "I think," which is great because you're only speaking on your behalf.
No,
which is
but I'll
perfect.
speak on the rest of the world.
No,
in a sec.
no, speak on your behalf.
I think that after you have a massage
Okay.
of any sorts, you should be jerked off. I think it's a medical release. To caveat that, why I don't feel it's sexual, because it could be a terrible, like, it doesn't have to be a pretty person. Like, I think I think culturally, like, there's places in the world you go to and they jerk you, like, that's part of the shit. The girl could have no teeth and, like, it be the best massage in the world. Like, you're not going
Best
there.
blowjob, you mean?
No, I'm not. It's not.
No teeth blowjob. That
For-
sounds like it'd probably be amazing.
I'm such a germaphobe. First of all, it's not even in the
If
cards.
you were such a germaphobe, you would be walking into massage parlors. Don't start acting like you're Howie Mandel all of a sudden. Like, please.
So you know, I think that I will rephrase it. I think that I am a germaphobe. To put my dick in you, there is a long thought process of this. It's not like,
'Kay.
that's that. I might be very wrong because I'm not a doctor like the people that you think are in the back of the optical shops.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and during a medical release getting jerked off, like, I don't really think there's much that you could catch from that.
Okay, so
do you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
get what you're saying to a level where normally when you're having sex with someone, it's like, yes, you're focusing on that person, where when you're getting a massage, it's more just the idea of someone and there's no person involved in it. Because it's kind of like you're using
but
your
there's no,
imagination.
like I would be just as happy if it was culturally, like, it
so
wasn't.
then why are you choosing your person at the massage parlor if it has nothing to do with?
It's not the request. It's like, you go into a place. Would you do? How would you would just sit there in the room alone? Like, you don't go to a massage. Like, when you go to a regular massage place.
I love
you
a
don't choose,
massage.
You don't choose your masseuse?
Well,
You don't? You do?
No, not always. I mean, you normally choose
Right,
if it's a
some of the
girl or a
times.
guy or
No,
like.
some of the times you choose them, some of the times you don't.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So some of the places you choose things. Some of the places you go into a room and then you're fucking.
It's always the smallest people who end up having like the most force, I find.
I
They're
don't
like
know.
literally on top of you, like, hi.
But I don't think that it's like, I don't think getting jerked off is sexual at all.
If I had to choose between
It's
my
not.
man like cheating on me or getting
But do you think that that's cheating on you?
I don't think it's cheating, although I don't think it's acceptable.
I mean, I personally disagree
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
I think if someone was going to fuck or they were going to get blown or God knows what the fuck they were
Or
doing.
there was like an emotional attachment or like some kind of like communication.
No, I think the penetration is the deal breaker.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Right?
saying.
Like that to me, that's the line that you would be crossing.
Okay.
So, but if someone's jerking you off, like I don't really.
Okay, so let's go back to it though. So
Okay.
you get there.
So we get there.
You choose your girl, you choose your fighter,
Choose your fighter.
and okay, so you go in the room. How does it start? Like, how does it become sexual? Like, is it right away or is it at the end?
But it's not really like.
Okay, but like, so they start
It's-
by massaging your back.
It's not like going to, like there are places that you go to where it's sexual. This is not like that. It's like this is what happens.
Man, do they brainwash everyone who goes in there? Do they brainwash everyone?
Listen, do not put Yolanda down.
So they massage you,
No, they
and then how do they,
But because like some places you go to, like, and I don't.
do you
even,
pay more for the happy ending, or is it the same?
No, it's like it's not. There's whorehouses in Montreal where you can go and get massages. There's whorehouses anywhere you can go get massaged. You can fuck them. You can do whatever you want to do. Those girls, when you're going to those places, you can like see them on a website. You can view them. Like you're going there to have to not be a virtual pay pig. You're going there to fucking be with one of these chicks or one of the dudes. Like I think most of the places have dudes also.
Yeah.
That's what you're going there to do. When you're going to the other massage parlors, like it could be a fucking 50-year-old woman and it's just part of their, like they could be coming from whoever the fuck and it's part of their culture and they're jerking off. Like it's not like, hey, you know.
Like, can you tell they're very experienced? Like, can you tell the difference
Like, do
between
you interview them?
What?
No, because after you have a massage, guys, after you have a massage,
Please speak on men.
most of them will come very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly because it's in my mind, it is a medical release. Like they are pushing on parts of your body that are moving liquids around that need to exit.
Okay.
Right? Like you need to get rid of the poison after that, right? The funnier part of it is when people go to massage parlors to get jerked off and they're not those types of massage parlors. Like that's the funny parts of them.
But are we like open? Like, is our city open about it? Like, is this legal?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean,
X the podcast. We talk about everything.
we could go.
Legal or not.
We should do a tour. You could look up a massage parlor and we could call them
I'm
and
gonna go
ask
into
them.
a camera. They're gonna go, no.
but
Hey guys, welcome to the X podcast. Choose your fighter.
You know, I have a lot of homies that like want to go because they want to find a cute girl and get jerked off. Like it's not in their mind. They want really more of the sexual experience in the massage.
Aren't you like, you don't have anything on your eyes when they're jerking you off, or you're like watching?
What would you have on your eyes? Do you jerk people off and put something on their eyes? Is that your shit?
No.
Yes, you're like, yo, hold on.
No.
I'm gonna put a towel on you.
I don't know. I feel.
What do you mean?
They're not. You don't cover your eyes when you're getting a massage, so you're like watching it all. Your eyes aren't shut.
I'm not. I mean,
I'm just trying to think like me when I'm on my stomach and I'm getting like an actual just like back massage.
right.
Whereas I guess you're the other way, so you're not.
Well,
your
at
eyes
one
aren't
point you're the
covered.
other way too.
Yeah, but like I will ask for a towel on my eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. I think that's normal to like want to be relaxed. Like eyes shut.
Okay.
You don't want to
Well,
really
I think some
see.
places do, but I don't think it's such like a weird thing. I think it's, I think it's funny when people like, I have homies that are like, yo, there's this like seedy looking massage parlor. I'm going to check it out. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, it's probably like a jerk off spot. And then they
What do you
go,
mean probably? Like, you don't know before you go?
I mean, I don't know. No.
So I guess it's not legalized.
I have no idea. Next, did you ever come to the original vintage frame store? I know you came here when the library.
I don't think so.
So it was down the street and it was attached to a rub and tug.
Oh my God, that's why you opened up right there.
It's not.
So that you can get it on your lunch breaks.
So they thought we were the police. So they never let any of us in because I would send employees there, and we would sit outside because they had a bench right outside. And when people would come out, we'd be like, "We fucking got you! And people would run, and so it was. I mean, I can probably even send you the videos. We had. So it was
You're nuts.
It was on Notre Dame Street, and we set up a camera in the back. Like there was like a little alley thing. So the alley would go into vintage, or it would go into the rub and tug, and it would. At night, we had like sensors, so it would break the sensor, and you would get a spotlight shined on you because it was like regular security shit, and it would shine up, but we could voice over the camera, and we'd be like, "Yo, you're fucking busted," and people would be like,
like, "Oh no, don't tell my wife."
Like fucking yeah.
That's too good.
Yeah, but I always find it funny when my friends, they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to a massage parlor." They're like, "I had a long day." I'm like, "Oh, a rub and tug?" They're like, "Yeah, I think it's a rub and tug." I'm like, "Cool, have a good time," and they'll hit me back. They're like, "Yo, wasn't a rub and tug?" I'm like, must have been rough. They're like, "Yeah, I took my dick out. It wasn't wasn't well received." I'm like, dude, that's gotta be wild.
But my question is, like, how do they move in that direction? Do they have to ask you, or they just like kind of like sway there, and it's like if you say no, you're just, or you're going there and automatically.
So I haven't been to the ones where it's like you're going there with the intention to fuck. There are places where that's people's shit.
Do they say like, "Do you want this?" or like?
I'm not sure. The one that I had gone to was like more a direct.
Okay. It's like choose your fighter, go in.
Fighter, but fighters, like they're not like girls aren't looking like you. They're looking like fucking, I don't know, like fighters, like fucking. They're looking like fucking. I wouldn't bring him home to my dad and be like, "Yo, Dad, look, this is Hermalea.
This is my new pig.
The fucking new pig, But it's like a big funny thing, and then. Because I listen to a lot of my friends when they do this. They're like, "Oh, I went to the da-da-da. I bumped into like so-and-so." And then people get like, some people are mad weird about it.
Yeah, that's why I love that you're talking about this. You gave me some kind of juice, even though you're like, the place I went to, like, I don't know, that's how it worked there.
No, but that's part of their shit. Like they didn't ask you. I wasn't like, "Oh, this chick's got really big tits and I want to fuck her." It's not like.
But when they're jerking you off, your eyes are open.
I mean, pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? You got to watch for falling stars.
No, I'm actually just generally curious.
Yeah, there's like, and I know like culturally, there's some spots that have tables. Like in some cultures, tables have like room, like they have like holes and shit. But it's not just dudes, it's girls too.
Holes?
Like there's holes, so you'd put your dick or your pussy or shit like that.
Okay.
But also these places.
What is that called, a glory hole?
I'm not sure.
It's called a glory hole.
No, I don't think it's called a glory hole. I think if you know who's there's no glory in finding it out. Like I think it's premeditated. But the same places, like girls go too. Like it's not just dudes.
Okay.
It's medical release.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that
medical release?
Would you find that sexual? Like, is that?
You know what I think? I think because for guys, they have to kind of work to get it versus like women, if we want it, like we have it. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's true.
So it makes more
think that
sense why men
changes.
would go.
No, honestly, I think that changes. I think when dudes are, yeah. I think the roles completely reverse at one time.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
I just don't think, I think in a lot of cases, there's a switching point where women have to try harder than the men do.
So like men are just kind of like, I fucked every bitch. I'm like, it.
No, I
takes,
don't
like,
think. I don't think it
energy.
has to do. I don't think it has to do like that at all. I just think that there becomes a point where, like, people's confidence level or experience catches up to them to a certain point where they're not like where it's not traditional standards, like where it's like, I think when I was younger, I would have had to try harder. I think if that was my way of life now, I wouldn't have to, like, that role would be reversed.
Yeah,
I
you
think
would
that
just
the
say, like,
girl-
I'll give you some frames.
This is literally coming from the girl that is telling people their shit and they're paying her on the internet. So again, to caveat, after this, she's going to be like, yo, can I get like a frame or some shit?
What do you mean? I already chose them.
Right. There we go. And she's fucking berating me. She's telling people that they're shit for a living.
Okay, last thing I want to speak about is...
Yes,
So you have a spot here.
I do.
You have a vintage frame store here, and you have one in Miami.
I do.
Which one is doing better?
Financially? Wow. Honestly, just know that I'm going to flip
You see
this
how it comes natural
so
to me?
heavy. It's fine. It's okay.
No,
Which
sorry.
one is doing fine?
You should be honored, because if I'm like, oh, we need to take a little break. Yours is exhausted of your shit. Mine's working. They're not
Damn, you are.
Savage.
You're literally a savage.
Guys, Corey's camera isn't turning on because the battery is tired. So, I mean, take what you will from that. So you'll speak to the wide shot camera. Let's go.
Can you believe that I'm getting berated from the girl in a bathrobe with lipstick on her teeth?
I have lipstick on my teeth.
Can you believe this? Honestly, I've let this go on for 45 fucking minutes, but yeah, how do you like that? Fucker.
I still look cute though.
You do look cute. It's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Miami. Miami's just different, but like Miami girls are just built like
built differently.
they're built differently. They'll come in, they'll be like, oh, try on the glasses, waste your time. They'll be like, yo, so, well, like, how do I get this, glass? And it's like, I don't know, like cash or credit, like preferably credit. They're like, yeah, well, we're staying here. Maybe we can hang out.
It's at the Good Time Hotel.
It is at the Good Time Hotel. And some of the girls are trying to give you a good time. Also guys, just people
Really?
it's just very like people in Miami
Yeah.
are savages, like fucking savages. They will fuck for glasses. They'll fuck for anything.
Have you fucked for?
I have not. Have not.
Have you got a massage?
Have I got a massage for glasses? No, I also have not. Not that it's ruled out in the future, but as for now, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Do you give massages for glasses? Was that what you were insinuating?
don't.
No?
I'm sorry,
That was
I don't.
it? But I will text you later and tell you how shit you are. The craziest thing. You've really been you've just been holding this back. Yeah. And then you're going to edit it with your dirty Band-Aid.
Thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, this was fun, easy,
you.
light.
Light.
I can't believe you let me film. How long was the lipstick on my teeth?
The whole time.
Nice.
Well, why not?
Wow.
I thought it was part of your thing. What do you mean? What
Yeah,
do you laugh?
I want lipstick on my teeth.
I don't know. I don't wear lipstick. I don't know.
Lipstick.
Stuck somewhere.